Okay, back with you. It's been just a few minutes. I get everything off of the guitar again. And what I've done is I've taken my calipers and as precisely as I can, I've centered this pickup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some tape, and I'm going to attempt anyway to hold it in place. With some tape, and that way I can maybe draw around it, kind of get some sort of an idea of how we need to go about one more on the other side. Try not to mess with the wires any. There was a lip too. There's binding around this fretboard, and I took the piece off the bottom, and there was a binding channel, and I took a sharp chisel. I've got some sharp chisels here. See a whole slew of them here, and got rid of that binding channel. Took a file, flattened that off really good, so that's not in the way, and it allows the pickup to go all the way up against the fretboard there. So seeing what time it is, I've only got a little while to work here today. I've made some plans with some friends and all of that. So, but I'd like to be nice to get this mock-up done. I'm not necessarily concerned about the wiring. Okay, I think that's good. And I do have it backward because I need to be able to draw around it, and it looks pretty symmetrical, so I think I'm going to be okay there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I've got a mechanical pencil with a fairly thin lead. I don't remember exactly, got a whole slew of this stuff, but those of you that have kids, when they go to school and you buy all the school supplies and there's stuff left over, man, don't get rid of that stuff. Hang on to it, like pencils and the lead and all that. Let's see, this is a 2B, so it's a size 0.5 if you're curious about any of that. So I did find the lead. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pencil and I'm going to roughly, and I want to kind of start small, because you can always grow any kind of hole you make. If you start small, you can always make it bigger. It's hard to make it smaller. You know, once you cut the wood off, it's hard to put it back on. So let me just follow this guy around here. And yeah, we're going to be definitely smaller than the pickup. That's okay. I'm not overly concerned about that. And then with the tape there, I can just fold that back. And then, oops, my lead. It's all right. That's why I like the mechanical pencils. You break the lead, just get out some more. And I'm going to go even with the fretboard, because I think that's how we need to go. So basically we're going to cut that there. You probably can't see that. Anyway, I just made some pencil marks where I'm going to do my cutout. And I'm not going to cut all the way through, I don't think. I will have to drill a hole to get the wire down through. But I think what I'm going to do, if I can find my Dremel kit here somewhere, stuff all over the workshop and can never find it. I want it. So I've got this whole kit thing that goes with the Dremel. Oops. And I'm hoping that I have a bit. What I would like is a hey, here we go. It's in the drawer. I've got a spiral. You probably can't see that, can you? Let me try to bring it up. There we go. I've got a little spiral cutting bit, and I think what I'm going to do is use that because I can get under the edge of the fretboard. I don't have to worry about hitting, and I can be very precise with that. So let me take a second here. I've got to get the find a pair of pliers here to change the bit in the Dremel. There we go. Whoop. Other way. There we go. And the Dremel is good to have in the workshop as opposed to some other bigger tools, because you can be a little more precise with, you know, like in this case, I'm gonna be cutting into the top of the guitar, and I know that's not gonna be good for those of you headphone users there, because it's loud, but let me do this. I'll record it, and then I'll probably just bust it into time lapse so you don't have to hear that going on for however long it takes me to get this down to the level that I want it. So I'm just going to, let's see if I zoom in. Can you see a little more of where? Yeah, so you can see here I've marked off. There's that. I'm going to just get the Dremel going and try to size that hole for the pickup. And what I'm going to do, because that's going to drop it below this fretboard, and there's open space here, I'm going to fill that in with some pieces of wood so that I have a place to screw the pickup into and mount it. So I'm not at all worried about that. So here we go. Let's see. Camera's doing that jumpy bouncy thing. So all right, so I'm gonna get this going and probably kick it into time lapse and bring you back when I have the hole ready to go. All right, see a little bit of an issue. I'm not sure. These guys are going to kind of be in the way. Don't know if I could bend them and then bend them back, maybe. Or should I just take this? Maybe I'll just take this bracket off altogether and just glue the pickup to the top of the guitar. Wonder if that might be a more viable option than trying to get that down that way, because will not, and I don't want to dig out. I'd have to dig out all the way back here. Let me think about it, because kind of get the drill. I am going to have to, continue digging out this part of the guitar here. So you've kind of seen the drill on that with the Dremel. Let me figure out what I'm going to do, and I may just drill these plugs out of here, take the bracket off, and I may just cut them off with the Dremel. That might be, then I could always solder them back on if I needed to, or have somebody weld them back on for me. Let me think. Maybe bend them. Oh, yeah, they don't want to bend very easily all the way down that way. All right, I'll think about it. Gonna have to give this one some thought on mounting here. I don't mind a pool of something down like an epoxy or something down there, and push that into it and just let it sit there. So that may be the way to go. So and it's a $20, $25 pickup. So that's the other thing. I'm not investing. It's not a $100 P90 pickup, so I'm not too concerned about it. All right, I'll think about it. I'll bring you back. All right, welcome back. It's been, I'm going to say, a good hour since I've been with you, and I did a couple of things. As you can see, the pickup is here in the guitar, but it was interesting trying to get it all to fit. So let me kind of explain what I did, and then whether you would have done it differently or not, or all of that is your choice, right? So let me just show you. Get the pickup out of here, and I ended up all the way down to, you can see the braces here, and again, I apologize for that camera doing that stupid focus thing. I will figure that out one of these days. But I cut out the entire top section for the pickup, and then right there, I think you can see, let me grab the chisel and point. Right here, I put a groove. These are the two braces that I was talking about earlier that run down the top of the guitar. So they just happen to be right, the way, the angle that they ran and everything just happened to be right there. I think clearance wise we're going to be okay, but what I did is where I pointed right there, I put a little channel, because you can see I got wires that need to go down here, and that wire fits nicely in that little channel that I made, and I didn't make it too deep to where it's going to cause any kind of problem with the brace. Those braces are beefy. Probably if I was building a guitar from, and going to put a brace in, I would never put a brace in that beefy. But this guitar, because they were mass produced, all that kind of stuff's got those big beefy braces in there, so that in this case works to our advantage. Still going to have to give some thought as to how to mount the thing, but I think I have an idea there as well. But I think you can see it fits really nice. Again, what I ended up doing, I took the Dremel with the this is a, I don't know what they call this, spiral cutting bit, I think is what they call that, and took most of the material out. And then for the final stuff, I used combination of razor blades and sharp little chisels. And listen, let me just tell you, this stuff has to be sharp, otherwise you're going to chip out the wood, especially with the plywood. The stuff has to be really, really sharp. But watch these guys, because it is easy to slip and cut yourself. Don't ask me how I know that. But I think we've got enough clearance below the top of the fretboard to when when the strings come over, I think we're going to be okay. I could go down a little bit more. I could, if I needed to, maybe take a little material off the top of those braces, but I'm really hesitant to do that. I don't want to weaken the structure of the guitar. So we're going to go with it probably like that and see how it does. So let me show you what else I did. If you remember, there was that bracket on this pickup. I ended up getting rid of that. There's the back one piece of it. Here are the other two. I first cut the legs off to see if that's what these two pieces are, the legs, to see if that would help me enough up under here, and it wouldn't. I needed it pushed closer to the fretboard there. So I would say we're about a 1/16 or so of an inch of a gap here between the pickup and the end of the fretboard. It looks really nice, and everything is real tight around the pickup. I mean, it fits in there, and there's no movement. I mean, there's no screws or anything in there. So again, I've got to figure out how to keep it in there, because you don't want it doing that. But it's a snug little fit. So and then I ended up taking the back. This is just that back bracket, and what I did is just took the Dremel tool and dug into, I don't know if you can maybe see, let me try to show you that. I just took the Dremel tool where those pieces were connected and just shaved that down with the Dremel tool and a one of those disc cutters, and just that kind of a thing. So yeah, it was a little bit of a job to get that in there, but I'm pretty happy with the setup here, and we've got plenty of room for wiring, as you can see, and this helps with, believe it or not, as small as that hole is, it's going to help with access once I get ready to drill, place holes here, drill the holes for the tone and volume, which are going to go somewhere in this neck of the woods, I think. Maybe down a little bit further here. And then the output jack will be back here somewhere. But I'll figure those two things out. So this part right here, to me, was the big hurdle, and I think I cleared it pretty well. So I'm happy with that. Let me see if I can zoom, get you a decent look at it there. So it is a pretty good fit. Tip it a little bit so you can see. Again, it's not mounted, so there you go. Yeah, I think that's going to be really nice. It's a really good fit, and I think we're going to be good as far as clearance with the strings coming over this way. We're going to have pretty decent amount of clearance there, because the strings won't be right on the frets, they'll be up some. So I think we're going to be okay. Let me grab, this is the 1/8 on this side, and if I guesstimate string height, yeah, I mean, we're going to be pretty good. I mean, I'm guesstimating what the height of the E string would be here. I mean, I could throw a straight edge on it, but I think we're going to be really able to get a nice setup. And you see these screws here, the poles for each string can go up and down, so I can dial these in. What I'll probably do is set these 3, maybe 4 at the 1/8, and then 3/32 on these 2, and we'll see how that does. We can dial it in too, because we can adjust if we need to each one. If we have a string that's ringing out a little bit loud or not loud enough or whatever, we can kind of balance it across the pickup. So I'm happy with that. And if you're thinking of doing something like this, let me go back to the other camera here. Nope, that one timed out on me, so sorry about that. I'm going to leave you on the overhead. And for this part, I think I'm going to leave you, and I'll bring you back in I think the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and mark out, and this is just drilling holes with the drill. So I'm going to mark out where the volume and tone, where I want those guys to be, and as well as the output jack. And I'm going to go ahead and drill those. I'll do that off camera. But then when I get ready to start in on the finish, I'm going to bring you back for that, because I do want you to see what I'm going to do for a finish. It's kind of funky, so I'm kind of excited about it, actually. So, but I have a lot of sanding to do and prep work and stuff like that still, so it'll be a while on this project, and I'm going to stop rambling and let you go, and I will see you next time on the channel. Thanks for watching.